Hey guys, Glutenamide here with a quick feature rundown and demonstration of the new Anki Simulator add-on. For a quick background on the add-on, Anki Simulator allows you to play different deck options through and see what effect they will have on your review load. This makes it easy to judge which settings are right for you and which will be manageable in the long term. Anki Simulator was created by Giovanni Henriksen over on Reddit, and I've been helping him co-develop, tweak and finalize the add-on over the last few days. What you're looking at here is the result of that process, the first beta of Anki Simulator that will be available exclusively to all of you guys watching from Patreon for the next few days. As a side note, if you guys have been following my Patreon for a bit longer, you might remember my exam settings post where I demonstrated my Anki simulation script. In a way, working on this add-on and helping Giovanni out has been my follow-up to that, providing with a solution that works right out of the convenience of Anki itself. Alright, let's dive right into the use of the add-on. First, how to invoke it. You can either launch the add-on from the Tools menu up here or by clicking on the gear icon of a deck. This will copy over the settings and card state for cards of that particular deck, for instance the Anki deck here. Now going over the main interface, you will see that the add-on has three different sections of controls: the deck options section, the simulation options section, and your performance section. The deck options section picks up all of the crucial options that you will also find in Anki's deck options, whereas the simulation options section allows you to fine-tune the simulation itself. And last, the your performance section allows you to characterize and make predictions on your own performance in terms of your retention rates for different card states. Running simulations is very simple. Simply set your options up, for instance 100 new cards a day for this deck here, and then tweak your simulation options. So in this case, let's say we want to look at a period of 500 days, and then simply hit the Simulate button. After a short delay, you should be presented with a graph that should look something like this, with a first section of logarithmic growth and then a section of exponential decay, as you only have to deal with your reviews instead of also having to deal with new cards coming in. The real power though of the add-on lies in the fact that it allows you to run multiple simulations and compare them against each other. So to run another simulation, simply tweak the settings to your liking. Let's say we want to set a maximum interval of 90 days here, 3 months. Enter a custom simulation title to make sure that you can actually tell the two different graphs apart. So let's say this is the max interval graph. And then once again hit simulate, and after a delay you should see the other graph showing up next to the other. And this is very awesome because you can now easily compare the effect that these different settings will actually have on your review load over time. And in this case, with maximum interval, as you can see, you have a much higher review load in the long term. So by default, Anki Simulator will use your actual cards and their intervals to perform calculations. If you want to start from a clean slate instead and simply play through multiple hypothetical scenarios, you can use the Simulate New Cards option, which assumes an untouched deck with X new cards. So let's say we want to just simply look at a completely empty deck that we have not reviewed any cards in with, let's say, 20,000 cards. We can simply set it up here and once again hit Simulate, and as you can see, this will look different from the other graphs because these graphs here are using the Anki deck, which has 29,000 cards, whereas here we're looking at a hypothetical deck with 20,000 cards. And as you can see, the exponential decay starts much earlier. But interestingly enough, of course, up to that point you have basically the same exact graph section. Alright. So one important point before I leave you to play around with the add-on yourselves. Please note that for some settings it only makes sense to adjust them together. For instance, if you were to increase your interval modifier, let's say we set it to 120% here, then that would only make sense if you were also to adjust the retention rates. So if I were to run this simulation, you should see a decreased review load for this graph right here, right? It's quite a huge difference to the review load you would be facing otherwise. But of course, that doesn't really happen in reality. In reality, what you would be facing would likely be lower retention rates, because it would be very difficult for you to maintain the same pretty high retention rates here with the much bigger spacing between your reviews that is produced by the interval modifier here. So to draw the right conclusions, you always have to keep interplays like that in mind. And one thing that might help you with that is the exam preparation video. It is a bit older, but it dives a bit more into this math side of things, and it could be an interesting thing to look into if you want to dive deeper into the interpretation of these simulations. So either way, always be wary of the conclusions you draw from simulations like these. Alright, I think that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick overview. Please feel free to give the add-on a try yourselves now and let us know what you think. Thanks again for watching, and thanks to all of you guys on Patreon for your awesome support over the last few months. Stay healthy, take care, and as always, best of luck with your studies. Bye.